Butterfly Transformations. You're with Tanisha Ali, and I'm here to help you gain clarity and perspective. I'm here to help you to heal and clear out the clutter, the energetic baggage, and all the stuff that's blocking you from becoming your best self and living your best life. I'm here to help you up-level your mindset so that you can embrace and manifest the glory of God that is within you. What are we talking about today? Coming at you with another video today. We're talking about toxic holiday nostalgia, or holiday toxic nostalgia. Well, what is that? That is the memory of something that you have left behind because of the fact that it was a toxic influence in your life, but you are now nostalgic for it. You are now in a place of heavy-duty regression, considering either stepping back or almost eliminating and nullifying any progress that maybe you've made. Now, this could relate to stepping back into an old habit, an addictive pattern. Maybe you're a gambler and you're gonna go play the lottery tonight. Or maybe there's something else that's going on that you like to do, like spend money, online shopping, something that has taken you down through there that you just couldn't seem to break that habit, but you've been doing okay, you've been holding your own for a while, and here comes the holiday season. Whether it be Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, whatever. That time where you perceive everyone is with family, everyone is having a good time, which is not true, and everyone has something that you don't have, and so you begin to feel weak and you fall back into a place of emotional vulnerability, which causes you to compromise yourself. Today's video, however, though, we're identifying the toxic nostalgia as an individual that you have walked away from. And that is actually what we want to deal with today. So if this seems like a video that you can relate to, if you've been through this before, if you're down through there now, if you're feeling some kind of weakness, some kind of craziness, some kind of emotional upheaval, or you're feeling that trauma bond that you had with that soul tie that walked away from you or that you walked away from, be sure to stick around and listen to what Tanisha Ali has to say to you about this. This video is designed to fortify you, to give you strength, to help you stand up erect and face your challenges, okay? It's designed to help you not to have buyer's remorse when the next day comes or the next few days come and you wake up to see the carnage and the wreckage from the decision that you made in a moment of emotional upheaval, in a moment of toxic feelings, and giving life to something that really only exists the more that you energize it. So like, subscribe, share, and comment on this video. If you know somebody that is alone during the holiday season because they gave someone the gift of goodbye, or God has taken someone out of their life, or they had the emotional, mental, and spiritual wherewithal to kick somebody to the curb, and you feel that they are teetering on the edge or they're feeling a little lonely, share this video with them. Okay, so let's get right into it. And by the way, if you have not purchased my book, Manifesting Your Masterpiece, please do so. If you had this book with you today, you could go through some of the pages and you might be able to get some sort of insight that would give you a sense of inner strength so that you could stand up straight and face this challenge, this toxic nostalgia. But if you have not, you can get it on Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble. You can buy the ebook or you can buy the paperback. I suggest the paperback, however, though, because this becomes a working manual for you. You can write in it, you can journal in it. It is a series of daily quotes and self-coaching reflections that help you to up-level your life so that you can be the person that you know you came into this world to be. So it's a beautiful, beautiful book that can help you in a lot of wonderful, wonderful ways. So what are we talking about today? When we talk about toxic nostalgia in these relationships, there's a reason why the relationship that you are in is toxic, or the one that you walked away from, or the person that left you was toxic. It really did not have the components of a healthy relationship to begin with. Something about it just didn't feel right. And if you got to the next level beyond, it didn't feel right because you tried to force that, something else happened. A series of unfortunate events. Remember that movie? A series of unfortunate events began to unfold, and you began to realize, I don't think this is quite for me. Or maybe that other person began to show their true colors, whether this is a lover, a guy in your life, or fellows, if this was a woman in your life, something happened to attune you to the reality that this person is not for me. Now, toxicity is different than someone just not being for you. But typically, when we realize someone is not for us, we don't just kick them to the curb and honor ourselves. We don't just push them out of our lives and honor and stand up for who we know we are and what we deserve. Most people need to be burned a few times. Some people need to have first-degree burns. Some people need second-degree burns. Some people need third-degree burns. Or some people need to be running and being an inch of their life in order to walk away from something. What kind of person you are depends on what kind of artillery and what in your trick bag you're going to have to pull out so that you can make it over this next hill. Because the degree to which you move forward and leave this ugly, nasty, dysfunctional, distorted, discombobulated, disorganized, and dissident energy behind is the degree to which you have triumphed against the devil energy in your life. When we talk about devil energy, I'm talking about that demonic hold that something or someone can have over your life. It's an oppressive energy. It actually is almost like, it has a Pavlovian effect. Remember the experiment where they would ring the bell and the dog would start to salivate even though there was no food? It's a situation where when the thought comes up, automatically your body has a reaction. Your mind, your emotions begin to become turbulent, and whether or not you actually see that person or hear from that person or reach out to that person, something has happened because of the connection and the soul tie that creates a reaction in you that is unpleasant. But it is a predictable reaction, and it's almost like stimulus response. It's like the high-low energy of a very dysfunctional relationship that is like traveling on a roller coaster every single day. You never know what the weather's going to be like because you never know what the energetic dynamics are of the person that you're dealing with, and their energy is simply not reliable. So we have to ask ourselves, why do we keep going back? Why do we keep going back? Because we have what they call a trauma bond. We get used to a certain high and low energy, and it affects us at the deepest level of our being, and we begin to become used to that. And like a dog or a pet or even people that have been kidnapped, oftentimes we can experience a mild degree of Stockholm syndrome, where you will put the interest of that person before you put your own interest, even though they are sucking your blood. Okay, so these are things that become embedded as energy patterns. They become and they create neural pathways within our minds that stimulate predictable patterns of reactions when it comes to that person that can sometimes be against what is for our greatest good, and that can sometimes be against what we actually consciously want. You may find yourself doing something that you don't really want to do. Or you may find yourself in a situation where the day after blues beset you and you realize, oh my gosh, I reached out to this person or I took that call knowing that this person is not good for me. I allowed this holiday season to put me in a funk whereby I became vulnerable. And now you look up and you say, what the hell happened? You feel like that person who's been sober for a year. And then they take that drink and they wake up the next morning and realize they have to go back to an AA meeting and start with one chip, starting from day one. You got to start all over again and put that stuff behind you. And now all the days that you remained sober and all the difficulties that you triumphed over and all the weakness of emotion that you were able to escape by remaining in separation or by keeping your distance with this person, suddenly you're starting over again at ground level zero. You remember in that movie, The Color Purple, when Oprah was sitting at the table and she was like, Miss Seeley, something about don't trade places with what I've been through. Miss Seeley, it's like you can see the train wreckage and the carnage right over the horizon, but you keep on walking to it with such dedication and such forward momentum that you know you need to have your head examined. This is when you have to recognize several things and you have to take certain steps. You must be proactive. You must understand that anything only has the meaning that you attribute to it. That's it. Our reality is based on the meaning that we attribute to something, which is what allows us to develop healthy attachments. You have decided that you need that person on this particular night. You have decided that because someone told you it's December the 25th or December the 30th, that this is a time where you're going to be lonely. You have given those particular days meanings. What the hell is December the 25th? What the hell is December the 30th? This doesn't mean anything. It's just another day. And there really is no present, past, and future in the reality of what really exists out here in creation. There is no concept of time. They have actually messed with the calendar so much that if you were going according to the moon calendar, it wouldn't even be the 25th or the 30th or January the 1st. So that day means nothing first and foremost, except the meaning and the significance that you give it. So that's the first thing you got to eliminate. The second thing you have to realize is that because you are in the matrix and because you haven't freed yourself and because you're watching this video, you have to understand that to anticipate something and to be fully aware and conscious of it gives you an advantage and allows you to plan your way out of something. Expect that you may have a feeling of weakness. Expect that you may be tempted. Expect that that devil energy, that demonic energy that has kept you in chains, that has oppressed you, that has served to be a toxic entity in your life, that has been a codependent abyss of dismal darkness. Accept that that is going to come down on you and rain down on you like hell from the worst part of the experience that you've ever had with this individual. To expect that and to know it is to have your eyes wide open and to be able to plan, to be proactive. Do not wait until the last minute. If you are addicted to something and you remove that thing out of your life, if you have a tumor, for example, in energy work, and that tumor, there's psychic surgery that allows that tumor or whatever it is that you may be dealing with to be removed, that space, that energy, that energy that is gone cannot it needs to be filled with something that is light filled and healing, right? When the body is under attack and we remove and we purge of the unhealthy energies, whether we're cleaning our colon or anything else, we have to repopulate our system with something that is nourishing and nutritional. If you have an addiction and you go to the same club every weekend or 2 or 3 times a week and you decide to kick that addiction, you have to fill those days with something else. You cannot just sit idle and not do anything, because not only does your mind have a memory, your body has a memory. You have an emotional body, a mental body, a physical body, a spiritual body, and each of those has certain energies that emanate, that contribute to your overall experience, all right? And so when you remove something from your life that has been toxic, you have to put something else in its place. So to be proactive means you decide what you're going to do. Instead of sitting looking at the phone, instead of playing music that you have no business listening to, because all it does is stimulate emotion. It stimulates the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root chakra energies. It makes you weak. It serves as almost a demonic energy in your life at that time because it captivates you emotionally. It's like something that hooks onto your forelock and makes you heedless and less mindful of what is in your own best interest. So you're proactive and you replace your evening or your day full of events that are constructive. You stay busy. You stay as busy as you possibly can. And if you are that weak, you should have literally like someone who serves as a sponsor, someone that you can call in your life and say, listen, I'm weak right now. I need a pep talk, or go to sleep. If you can't handle it, go to sleep and sleep it off, so that when you wake up the next day, you have another opportunity to get it right. The fourth thing I'm going to suggest that you do, which is very, very, very helpful. If you've been on my channel and you're a subscriber, go back to find the video, How to Get Over Your Ex. It's an amazing video that has a lot of really wonderful suggestions. It's going to be about 2 years old. It was one of the first, second, or third videos I ever put on the channel. And what that video talks about is making a list of the collateral damage. See, it's easy to fall into relying on memories about what happened. Believe it or not, they tell us that although we know the subconscious mind captures so much, we're now being able to understand, and it has been proven that many of the memories that we have that we thought we remembered so clearly are actually grave distortions. All right. And oftentimes, because of the way memory fades, and it's kind of like having that child and going through those labor pains and saying you're never going to have that child again. And once you see that baby come, it's like, oh my gosh, it was such a beautiful experience, and you forget about the pain, right? You can forget that that person drug you down the sidewalk. You can forget that they cheated on you like a serial polygamist. You can forget that that person disrespected you, called you names. You can forget that they had no right to know your last name. You can forget that you lowered yourself and condescended to even deal with that person in the first place, and that they simply were not on your level. You can forget all the multitude of reasons why they financially abused you, they emotionally neglected you, they physically abandoned you, or were not there when you needed them, and that really, in reality, you had very little in common with that individual. You had more that was different than you had that was the same in terms of being with someone that you're moving in the same direction as. Okay, so the memory, you cannot rely on the memory. And when the memory gets weak, what happens is the knees start to shuffle, and they start to wobble, and you start to cave in, and you get weak. And then in a moment of emotional collapse, you reach out to do the very thing that has been the source of your dishevelment, that has been the source of your disempowerment, that has been the source of your discombobulation and your whole internal disorganization within your life. You reach out and you do the very thing that really results in self-destructive behavior and self-abuse. And you give the person consent to continue to come into your life and continue to let you down. And you know that they have not changed. Most of the time, they probably have not even acknowledged their fault in the situation or taken any personal responsibility or accountability for putting you in the blender and hitting a frappe, right? So you don't want to fall into that. So you need to have a very objective way of firming up your resistance and putting on your energetic armor to protect yourself from that dark energy. And one of the best ways to do that is to take a pencil and paper and write down the major things that happened that turned your life upside down. Take a piece of paper, fold it into 3 so that you have 3 columns. Okay, you have a column here, one in the middle, and one on the right. And list in the left-hand column the despicable, unforgivable things that that individual brought into your life or that individual did to you, the ultimate betrayals, okay? Number 2, in the middle column, list all of the collateral damage, the financial abuse, all of the things that you suffered at the hands of this individual that may not have been severe, but fall in the moderate to mild category. Okay? And then in that last category, list a few things. List the amount of time in your life that you lost, how your health was deteriorated as a result of it, and the other impact that those events in columns 1 and 2 had in your life. This is not an exercise for the lazy. Oftentimes, we don't want to take the time to sit and write something down. We just want immediate gratification, and that's what's going to have you stepping back into a whole nother level of regression because of immediate gratification. Sit yourself down and write these things down. And as you write and list the severe infractions, and as you list the mild to moderate forms of abuse, and then you begin to get clear on the things that actually happened and how they affected your life and what it took from your finances, what it took from your sense of self, how you suffered, how much time you spent pining away from this person, the multitude of disappointments. When you start writing all that stuff down, some of you have even moved across the country for some of these jackbutt people. You made all types of sacrifices. You might have put them before you. You might have been paying bills for their children. You might have been paying their bills instead of paying yours. You might have known they were running around in the street doing all sorts of things and being dishonest, but you stayed there for it. As you begin to come to grips with the collateral damage, and it's not just up here, but you put it on paper and you look at it, I guarantee you, it is all the reflection that you need to then find something more constructive to do with your time rather than call them. And after looking at that list, if you still want to call that person, please call 911 and have yourself committed for an evening. Just go ahead to the hospital and let them know that you are in no shape to be in charge of your life, that you cannot make decisions for yourself right now, and that essentially you are suicidal. This is something that is very serious. I guarantee you that if you take the time to write that list and you look at that situation, and for extra measure and emphasis, call someone else up and let them listen to it. Hear yourself or listen to yourself on audio. Play it on audio. Talk to yourself and play that over and over and over. Listening to and recreating the episodes that cause that person to take a prominent position in your life and abuse their power and to drag you down energetically. This is serious stuff here, folks. You're with Tanisha Ali, helping you to gain clarity, up-level your mindset, clear and heal energetic blockages so that you can manifest the glory of God that is you. Yes, this is the holiday season. Yes, it's a time to be with the people you love, but who loves you more than the love that you should be able to give for yourself? If you are a complete human being, which is what you should be because you have God's energy flowing through your veins, then you have more than enough. You have more than enough, and you are more than enough, and you have so much more to be grateful for. Do not pine away for the things that meant you no good. Do not pine away for those individuals who could not see your value. You have one life to live, and there is no point in wasting your beautiful, precious time and energy and breath on a situation running behind someone who is not for you anyway. Work on yourself so that you can attract the kind of individual that you deserve, because I can promise you, if you're a clingy, desperate person who cannot understand why you need to move on from something, you will attract an identical experience into your life right after the holiday season. It'll be another person cloaked in different clothing and a different package, but the experience will be the same. Please make sure you remember that spirituality is everything and everything is spiritual. How you live your life, the quality of your relationships, the people that you choose, and allow into your life the dream-killing energies, the way you aspire to reach your dreams and to follow behind or run behind your passion and purpose. How you see the world, the level of inner peace, love, and sanctuary you have is all spiritual. What you do for a living says something about your spiritual state as well. So join the evolution. Click in that description if you want to donate to the channel, to give a love offering, if you want to join me over on patreon.com to show your support, or if you want a healing session with me or some spiritual mentoring or life coaching, give me a call. Have a beautiful, peaceful, and productive holiday season. Don't let yourself down.